Okay, time's up. Please stand up. Please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, first prostration. Second prostration. Third prostration. One bow to the Buddha again. Okay, please stay seated. Okay, please stay seated. For your two of you, just come here. New one, the student. We now 10 minutes, okay, for reciting the name of the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Guanyin Pusa in Chinese. Okay, please hold the palm and follow me as usual. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。 观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世 音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。OK。Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Okay, after a long break, that's why I lost momentum. Some people stay on a holiday. That's why education is like that one. You see, unless it's a public holiday, otherwise, if you have so many breaks, then you lost momentum. Right? So not easy. Okay, first announcement regarding our next lesson. So we are on the 2nd of November, as usual. Every 1st and 3rd of the month, Sunday of the month, okay? Unless something happen, right? Okay, so please refer to your textbook. Please refer to your textbook, page 77. Okay, we move on to the page 77, especially for those newcomers. Okay, page 77. Now, as I say, I mean, of course, you come to Dharma talk, whatever, but the most importantly, you must have a basic Dharma knowledge. All right, a bit difficult for you. As you know, Buddhism, a lot of Buddhist terminology, that's a problem you may encounter very often. And also nowadays, of course, dictionary, you can go to Google and search. You need to buy the hard copy. Because otherwise you will stuck there. Because if you know the meaning of the terminology, then you don't know the whole sentence, the whole paragraph, the meaning of the whole paragraph. So this is a problem. Okay. Now, can you move on to page 77? Can you see the title, the Three Poison, right? So this is a Buddhist terminology also. In Chinese called San Tu. I mean, if you know Chinese or you want to learn Chinese, I know poison will kill you. Our life will threaten our life. Poison. Just take some poisonous food, food poisoning. Nowadays happen very often in Singapore, all right? Especially in Indonesia. Indonesia, the President Prabowo, he implemented the free food for the children because a lot of poor children in Indonesia, not like Singapore, small and very lucky. Some country, a lot of poor people, no food, nothing, no food to eat. And food poisoning. And this morning, the newspaper came out. He insists, carry on, enforce it, must still provide the free food for the poor children. But the food poisoning, and this is the problem, have to be solved. Otherwise, who dare to eat the food? Correct or not? But you come to hungry, I tell you, anything also want to eat. Mosquito also eat. Right? You don't know my humor. Eat mosquito. That means you are still sleeping. Last night is Saturday night fever, not Friday night fever. Okay, three poisoning. So what are the three poisoning in Buddhism? Okay, the first one, greed. Chinese called tan. Hatred. Chen in Chinese. And the third, ignorance. Chi. So these are considered one of the call it mental defilement, or we call it affliction,烦恼. And this is very not refined, not so very coarse, right? In English called coarse, 很粗糙的. C-O-A-R-S-E, something like that. 粗糙. Or in Chinese, not refined. And this is actually, have to be counteracted by the Arahat, especially for Theravada Buddhism. So these are very fundamental for our mental defilement or affliction, 烦恼. Okay, later I explain to you in detail. And all these three poisoners is because of self, I, myself, self, 我. And Buddhism talk about no self, right? No self. But no self doesn't mean that no physical body, as you know. Self, the definition of self means control. Can be controlled. Then nobody can be controlled. Even talk about President Trump, he can control everything. America, no way. Even God also cannot control everything, something like that, right? So this one called self doesn't mean that no physical body, as you know. Now, so because of that, I, myself, so there's an ego there. High ego. Or in Buddhism, talk about self-attachment. 我执 in Chinese. Self-attachment. Or because of myself and because of yourself, then become very selfish. And stubborn. Then arrogant. Alright? This is bound to have a human being usually have this kind of character, right? Okay, can you take a look here? The first one, the poison of greed. It means tan. Some people go to Sentosa or go to whatever, those casino to gamble or whatever, because of greed. You see, because you want something not normal. If you earn the money every month, your money salary, let's say 3,000 Sing dollars, and you will treasure it, but some people, of course, anyhow spend. But usually because you put in your effort, everything, you earn the money, so you spend the money very careful, right? But if you buy the lottery, 4 digits, I don't go and buy. In English, called 5354. If you got it, then you must know what to do. So I must make it clear to myself. But anyway, because you want to get some extra money, it's not your money salary. But once you got extra money, you will anyhow spend already. Because you don't feel the pain already, right? Because if not, you earn one. No, you really put in your effort, the time to earn it. Quite something like that. Okay, so we explain to you more in detail about greed. Can you see the verse here? If any living beings are much given to greed, let them keep in mind and revert Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and they will be free from their greed. Later we will explain to you how you recite Guanyin Pusa Bodhisattva, that means why you free from the greed. Okay, free from their greed. Okay, can you see the paragraph here? First paragraph. The 7 calamities are mentioned in the sutra. This is one of the 7 calamities. Are coming from the outside of ourselves. So whether internal or external, internal in terms of to ourselves, external in terms of external environment, right? So outside of ourselves, and after they are illuminated, okay, the sutra begins to list internal maladies. And this, as previously we already mentioned. So as a group, they are called 3 poison. Tan, chen, ci, as I say, greed, hatred, ignorance. Okay? So for the poison, our bodies and mind, but most importantly is our mind, right? The mental issue. So in Buddhism, talk about mental issue. That's why all this refer to, mental defilement or affliction. Therefore, cultivation come in. We need to cultivate in order to generate the wisdom. Only wisdom can counteract our mental defilement, but not spiritual power. As I told you so many times, spiritual power cannot override the karma. 神通抵不了业力. We Buddhism believe in karma, means action, right? Karma in Sanskrit, action, our behavior. Okay, just like I come here for Dharma talk, and this is a good karma, this is a good action, because you come all the way here, you spend a lot of time and take MRT bus or travel by car, everything. But of course, you gain something. You try to gain Dhamma knowledge here before you put into practice. Right? So action, we believe in action karma. Right? What we are suffering now is due to our karma. And why we born in Singapore, not born in other country, also our karma. But luckily born in Singapore, I think it's a good karma, half. At least 50%. Singapore, I'm not biased because that's I'm Singaporean. Beside the weather, they say weather very hot. But I tell you, I didn't go around the world, right? But in comparison, to me, I personally feel that moderate Singapore weather is quite moderate, right? Is it hot for a few days, right? Not that those countries, 4 seasons, 3 months summer, and the summer is extremely hot, and cold can be very cold, just like Iceland. But Iceland, the ice also melt already. And due to the hot weather, very warm. And not only Singapore happens in Singapore because the weather very extreme now. And why? because of our own karma, right? We didn't take care of the environment and become all of polluted air pollution. Everything happened, right? So because we are the one to be blamed, not God. You cannot blame the God. You cannot blame the Buddha. You have to blame ourselves. That's why it's our karma, right? Buddhism believes in karma. Not created by God, not created by Buddha, right? All depend on causes and conditions. Just our friend today come here from Switzerland, also depend on good causes and conditions. Ask him why you come here, and also good condition, right? We listen to the volunteer, and the volunteer also know how to recommend, introduce him to come here. The volunteers should tell them the way to Buddhahood, not the way to heaven. This always they have a slogan, put in the banner there, right? In the church or outside the street. Believe in God, you will go to heaven. Then we should put, believe in Buddha, you will go to Pure Land. Then people start to ask you, what is Pure Land? You want to know the meaning of Pure Land? Please follow me. Sunday, come to River Valley Road, Buddhist Lodge, 9:45 to 11:15. Okay, so they call 3 poison. So for the poison our bodies and mind, most important is our mind. They are greed, anger, or hatred, and ignorance. Okay, like ignorance, especially ignorance, something most important on the mind issue, right? Something to do with your mind. Okay, next paragraph. So of the 3 poison, the most dangerous is greed, greed. Okay, most dangerous is greed. So greed encompasses desire of all forms. Whether materialistic, some people have a very strong desire, they want to earn a lot of money is okay, nothing wrong. But sometimes because due to their background, they can't do it legally, they do it illegally. And then this is the bad karma, right? Something like that. So they encompass all desire, encompasses the desire of all forms. The most intense desire is sensual desire. Okay, sensual desire. So most specifically, sexual desire. And this thing happen, as a human being. Some countries, like Singapore, very, very strict. Okay, Singapore very, very strict. And this is actually make the country more safe, right? Sometimes I saw the YouTube, they comment, Singapore, very strict law, ban chewing gum, this and that. I was studying in England. And then one of the guy from Holland, Netherlands, he did the postgraduate there, and he said, "Oh, you come from Singapore? Oh, your Singapore very strict." I said, "I don't know. I'm as a Singapore, I don't know how strict." He said, "You ban the chewing gum." I said, "Ban chewing gum is called strict?" He said, London, of course, the top democratic society, they don't ban chewing gum, especially people watching football. When you find very stress or anxiety, what they do? They ban chewing gum. They eat the chewing gum, And this one, after they eating, they just anyhow, throw. And in the MRT, everything, the door cannot close, everything jam. And they have to clear all those, chewing gum, and they spend a lot of pounds, million pounds per year. You just imagine, all from taxpayer money. Do you want to pay for that? I don't know. Just like, minority of people eating, the gum, then you have to pay the tax money, extra tax money. I don't know. Then they say Singapore very strict. So Singapore give people impression it's very, very strict. But on the other hand, safer. So depend what you want. Depend on what you want. Correct or not? You must give and take. Nothing is perfect. In this world, nothing is perfect. And Buddha, he was a perfected one. But you and me is a sleeping one. So different. Buddha, he was an awakened one. Every time alert, every time awake. Then you come for the class, like sleeping like that. Friday, Saturday night fever. Then after the class, like dragon like that. Why? Go orchard, crack key, for your food or whatever, lunch. Now, so in terms of survival, sexual desire is certainly necessary, but human and all living beings rely on sexual desire to reproduce and survive as a species. So in this sense, sexual desire is not something that we can deny, but even from a moral perspective, the bond share, next page, between the husband and wife, this is normal. As long as you're not a monk, you can marry. Some people say, if I take 5 precepts, just I think, of course, Christianity, Christian people, they can marry, but not for Catholic. Catholic, like nun, of course, they are just like us monk. But having said that, within Buddhism, Japanese monk, Actually, one of the school they can be married, no problem. And that's a different practice. But as a people like always, I try to joke. People like us, full-time monk cannot. Right? So just a gift that you have to sacrifice something before you gain something. So this is very fair in the world. Just like you come here for the class, you lost something, but you gain the Dharma knowledge. So you have to figure out, which one you want, something like that. Now, so how to, can have all the greatest aspect of human relationship. Now, it is all right to have a sexual desire, but excessive sexual desire can be harmful to both body and mind. Okay, we move on to another paragraph. We skip that one. So the Buddhist precepts regarding sex are very detailed and delve into what is an improper time, improper place, improper purpose, and improper amount of engaged in sexual behavior. So engaging in a skillful sexual behavior is included in the Buddhism 10 wholesome action, 10 善业. Okay, and this is a very fundamental 10 wholesome act. We have to keep it, especially for Bodhisattva. It's a very fundamental one. Okay. Now, for instance, here they list out to refrain from killing. Now, this killing in terms of human being. Of course, you cannot anyhow kill human beings. You're sentenced by the law. All right. But if you kill the mosquito or whatever, the one is, as long as it's not Bodhisattva precepts, it's okay as a skillful means because sometimes cannot be avoided. But people like your lay people, the 5 precepts is more talking in terms of human being. You cannot kill human being. Why? Because only human beings can become Buddha. Only human beings can practice the Dharma, not the animal. Animal or other beings, we talk about in the 6th cycle in Buddhism, is due to their karma. All right? Although in Buddhism we talk about all sentient beings possess Buddha nature. All right? I told you so many times. What do we mean by Buddha nature? Means potential enlightenment. Everybody can become Buddha. As long as we practice the Dharma diligently. Okay, Buddha nature. Chinese called 佛性. Potential enlightenment. I mean, everybody can become Buddha. We have a potential. If I say this is a fate, you cannot become Buddha, then what is the point to cultivate the Dharma, practice the Dharma? Because you cannot become Buddha. All right? So, unlike for other religions, Buddhism talk about equality, just as Singapore, regardless of race, language, or religion. That's why Singapore talk about religious harmony. All right? No discrimination. Everybody have fair chance, just as Buddhism, to become Buddha, but not for other religion. Our religion, you believe in God. God is only one. God is only one. You cannot become God one, according to their teaching. It's only one. So that's the difference. Okay? So this is called Buddha nature. And this has happened, the concept of Buddha nature appear in the Nirvana Sutra. Okay? Nirvana Sutra. Okay, this happened at the school of emptiness, sunya or sunyata in Sanskrit. All right, people find it very abstract. You talk about emptiness, so they say, okay, come up the concept, the notion of, Buddha nature. So everybody have in our heart something like that. So we have a chance to become Buddha. Okay, so in Buddhism we don't believe in fate. Fate is fixed, cannot be changed, and Buddhism believe in impermanent. Things subject to changes, correct or not, brother? And impermanent cause suffering. You look at the weather, you look at the global, the kind of economic, everything. Look at ourselves, our body, subject to changes. Okay? Impermanent. Now, so to refrain from killing, to refrain from stealing. Stealing, you just steal one pencil, one pen, one rubber, or whatever. This is a small thing. All right? But of course, I won't encourage you to steal. Having said that, but if you steal the money, whereby people need the money for operation, surgery, life in danger, this is a very serious offense. I mean, in Buddhism. Okay? Something to do with our human life. Regardless of any precepts, whether your 5 precepts, our precepts as a monk, or Bodhisattva precepts, anything regarding the life, threatening our life, and is considered very serious. Okay? Other than that, wow, not so serious, through confession and repentance, right? Repentance, to admit your fault, your mistake, whatever, then try not to do it again. This is called repentance, 忏悔. Then think, can be from serious to minor, from minor to nothing, Okay, so to refrain from sexual misconduct beside your wife. So as a lay people, you can marry. But if you go another lady, the third party, then this is considered sexual misconduct. Then got problem. Okay? Consider you violate the precepts. To refrain from lying. If you lie, as I say, the principle is anything to threaten our life. If you lie just because of, I think a lot of parents, they are always lies to the children. You study hard, tomorrow I bring you to New York, will never fulfill their wish. Why? Why, mommy, daddy, why do you go to New York? The December coming already, school holiday in Singapore. Mommy, no money, no talk, no money cannot fly. So wait for another semester. Next year, June, I'll bring you. Then until June next year, see, I'm having stomach ache, not feeling well. I got jet lag, got problem. So wait for another 6 more months, December. They keep on changing problem. And this is called lying. But you want them to be good. Why? You want them to be study hard. All right. The intention is good, but the way you do, you try to lie to your children. Wow, this is considered a minor one. So there's a, how serious the thing. So this is a juggle, have to justify. Now, to refrain from harsh speech, to refrain from duplicitous speech, okay, and to refrain from flattery, 奉承，讲叫奉承，婆啊，好见叫婆嚟咋。Some people, you're very nice. And our now the number one in the world, stronger in the world, America, Trump, President Trump. He like people to praise to him. Right? You were against him, brother, you're going to die. Of course, he didn't say that. Something like that, I'm joking, okay? Yeah, I better be careful. Now YouTube live. Something I've forgotten already, Because usually I give my talk is put to auto. I know use the manual, driving a car, I put manual first, second, third, fourth. But now when I give a Dhamma talk, I always switch to auto. Then when I finish the talk, then I put to manual. So too late already. By the time you regret, too late. To refrain from greed. Right? So greed, of course, in terms of money, you say some because of the things, or you want to have a good materialistic life beyond your reach, something like that. Greed is actually good and bad, You come here also got greed because you want to gain the Dharma knowledge. If you don't have the desire greed, are you sure you want to come here? You got no momentum to come here. Correct or not? Because you say, I like to listen to that, our friend here. Listen to the volunteer, say very nice, a lot of joke. I must come here and witness myself, What kind of joke? Is it really can laugh the joke or the joke very boring one? A lot of kind of joke, correct or not? Then you just come here to see witness by yourself. You just listen to the people, right? Something like that. Now, so to refrain from anger, right? If you show your anger, some people very hot temper, then you better be careful. You'll cause a high blood pressure. It's no good for your health, definitely. Then of course you have a mental defilement, affliction, everything. You're suffering. Not you suffer, but the people also suffer, right? So both parties are suffering, something like that. And you created a karma, bad karma, right, for yourself. So refrain from anger and to refrain from ignorance. What do you mean by ignorance? Chinese called 无明, means no wisdom, 没有智慧. Now, I always say that when the professor tell you, the student, you're very stupid. Of course, he qualified to tell you, comments you, you're stupid. You're not intelligent, you're stupid. But you can go back. You say, yes, professor, I'm stupid, but you're ignorant. Then you no wisdom. Doesn't mean you're a professor, you're a PhD holder, you got the wisdom. No, wisdom and knowledge are different, Just like now you come here to gain the Dharma knowledge until you put into practice in your daily life. And this is how you generate the wisdom. So wisdom is beyond knowledge, but two cannot be separated. Two cannot be separated. It's just like learning Buddhism, but you need to master the AI knowledge or whatever. Do you know that now if you watch YouTube, I think among the world, now Singapore government invests a lot of money in AI, AI technology, Right? You must catch up with the world. Singapore lack of natural resources. And recently the news came out, a lot of people moved to, those has a headquarters, set up a company here, and they move up from Singapore to Thailand and Malaysia. Do you know why? You go and think about yourself. Why they move out from Singapore to Thailand and Malaysia? But certain things, they still remain in Singapore, cannot be replaced by other country. Brother, do you know why? Do you see the news? No. Then go and read the newspaper. That's why I told you so many times. Before you come to the class, just my sister told me, you must read newspaper before you come. Besides you reading the textbook, okay? So this is the homework. So means no wisdom, okay? Called ignorance. Okay, you take a look on here, the PowerPoint here. Right, in Sanskrit called avidya. Avidya, Sanskrit, Chinese called 无明. Okay, so in Buddhist literature, it's commonly translated ignorance. In English, they call ignorance. So the concept refers to ignorance or misconception about the nature of metaphysical reality. This metaphysical reality of the nature means true reality, or refers to emptiness. Hey sister, this one after the class, no, because dry already, cannot erase the whiteboard. Okay, so you see the textbook, just now the one. Right, ignorance, you see here the metaphysical called true reality. Refer to true reality. Chinese called 实相. Refers to, this one can be refers to emptiness, sunya, 空. Okay? Because as an ordinary people like you and me, we believe in existence. Things do exist permanently. But according to Buddhism, things are unreal, subject to changes due to the nature of emptiness. 性空, right? Nature. So, especially in Maya Buddhism, we focus on nature. The word nature, this is a philosophical term. 性, that means permanent nature, cannot be changed. Just like our character. Our character, some people very stubborn. According to Buddhism, can be changed, but take time. But usually character very difficult to change. You know, in the Chinese phrase, the proverb, it says mountain can be removed. You just imagine how to remove the mountain. It's unbelievable how to move the mountain. Himalaya mountain, you can move, and then you use a spiritual power, or probably by God, Buddha. You just use kind of analogy, right? Mountain can be removed. You use a technology, probably, who knows? House now can remove, you know. You know, they remove the house. Just like this Buddhist Lord can move, you know, to Orchard or whatever, Orchard High School, move to River Valley here. Can be done. Can be done, you know, through advanced technology. But character cannot be changed. 江山易改，本性难移. In Chinese, there's a proverb. So you want to change the character, it's not easy. Habitual already, habited already. You will become habit already. Right now, this morning the newspaper came out. Yesterday, our Deputy Prime Minister, now the constituency in Punggol. And then Punggol Northeast Line, MRT, a lot of people travel during peak hours, usually very, very crowded. So government tried to they came out the kind of strategy to how to solve this problem. So they make it free ride. You need to pay the money. Within the peak hours, off-peak hours, of course you pay, you know. And they asked one of the residents there, and the girl told the reporter, he said, not so much to me, you know, $1 or say $1, whatever. You see, sleeping more important, no, I cannot sacrifice my sleep, you see. But actually it's true, no, sleeping is more important. Well, not so much of $1, $2 my Singapore. I mean, you know, if you can afford to earn few $1,000s per month, why not? So I don't want to sacrifice the sleep. I know you sacrifice the sleep because you look at the face, you know, I know. Because today's Sunday, you're supposed to sleep until 12 noon, who knows? And then you skip the breakfast, you save the money for breakfast, and they call brunch. In British, in England, they call brunch. Lunch and breakfast together called brunch. So you save one meal, that one more than $1, no? Okay, this is called nature of metaphysical reality. In particular about the impermanent, as I told you just now. Impermanent, that's why impermanent cause suffering. Now we are young, but one day we are getting older and older. Now we are look young, we just born in this country, in Singapore, you want to enjoy life, whatever. As time go by, you grow older. Now recently, my student outside 90-something years old already, So what can you expect? In ancient China, if you above the age 70 years old, 人生70古来稀, in Chinese, they mean consider longevity, long life already, 70 above 70, Now Singapore, what is the average age in Singapore? Singapore longevity, a lot of people long life, Besides Japan and one place in China, 83.5, Why Singapore nowadays long life? In average, Singapore people are a bit rich, quite rich. So they buy a lot of supplement, eat supplement, vitamin C, D3, from A to Z, Z to A. And they spend $1 million to eat supplement. And those countries, they no food. The children so poor, like just like those countries, where got supplement. 3 meals per day, then you consider very happy, right, for 3 meals. And some countries are very poor, no food, nothing. Just like Gaza, the war with Israel. Of course, I don't have to tell you, also know the news, right? Brother, you know now. Yeah, okay. So I don't need to continue my story. Anyway, impermanent and anatta in Sanskrit means no self, 无我. Okay, doctrines about rarity. Okay, back to the textbook. Now, we quoted the sutra here. The Satya Naganda Sutra state, if one is not satisfied with one's own wife and enjoy fornicating with the wife of other men, then such a person is shameless and will suffer without ever knowing happens. Because you created the karma already, bad karma already. Why not? Yeah. Now, so in the essays of On Curbing Desire, Emperor Wen of the Wei dynasty, because China got different dynasty, so Wei dynasty wrote, nothing can equal lust as the chief evil, for it is easy to engage, in immoral sexual behavior. A great and powerful hero can lose his kingdom and his life because of it. Okay. Now, a sophisticated and refined scholar can ruin his reputation and name as a result of it. Just because of that, the whole reputation gone. Right? So, in Buddhism, the most challenge for cultivation, 修行, the most challenge is female, 女人. That's the most challenge. So, 女人是很好, very good. Also considered one of the poison. No, actually nothing. Cannot bring you, because you say, how to, Venerable, why is so by here? No, I didn't bring you. Actually, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's a karma. It's not the Buddha fault also. It's your karma. So karma is beyond your control. What can you do? 我也不要身为女人啦。Like jealousy or this kind of thing. It's very natural. It's your character. What to do? You born in that one. A guy also have. Just like in comparison, you're slightly more serious a little bit. Then you, of course, happy already lah. But it's true. I'm telling you the truth. Last time during my talk, and say, 女人female heavy karma. One of my students after the class challenged me,師父, what do you say just now? Well, I look at the girl, I scared. I said, wow, so fierce. I said, no. Buddha said, no, I said, he said, I quoted from the sutra. You're going to ask the sutra, don't ask me. Something like that. But it's true. In comparison, guy also got karma. But in comparison, female are slightly more serious. Of course, I mean, it's beyond your control. Of course, you don't want, but it's beyond your control what to do. And some people have a vow, next life, I don't want to be a female. I want to be a male. You could. All right? So you make a vow, you practice the Dharma, whatever, then go beyond it. But actually, according to Mahayana Buddhism, it's beyond gender one, whether you're female or male. It's actually, But Theravada Buddhism says female cannot, because of karma. They are more conservative. Mahayana is more open-minded. So, wow. Okay, so, it starts with a momentary sleep, but ends up with becoming an redeemable mistake. Okay, it cannot be, come back the mistake. So the fair beauty of a lotus-like face is a flesh covered skeleton, a pretty one, right? In sensual makeup is a sharp and deadly blade. So even in the company of women beautiful as jade and flowers, some people, of course, especially for female, like to make up or whatever, right? Guy, they don't care one T-shirt, don't comb your hair, also like that. So a lot of people say Singapore, when you travel the MRT, Singaporean, I mean, according to Xiao Su, say Singaporean, anyhow wear one short T-shirt, then dare to take the MRT, regardless of male and female, all the same. So they say, but they don't know Singapore is so hot. So hot, right? So, but I tell you one thing, last 2 weeks, I got another Dharma talk outside. So I told the girl, the student, I said, 2 times when she wear the short, I don't mind, I'm not conservative, but you don't respect me, it's okay, but you must respect the Buddha. Ma. You see, if you go to church, just like I was in England, I went to church. I mean, people dress very smart, proper attire. Of course, they don't put a tie, but they wear long sleeve, trousers, everything. And the girl don't wear mini skirt, and then they wear something like that. So it's proper, respect to the God and respect to the pastor or whatever. I mean, it's a kind of respect, And this student wear the short. And 2 times until I cannot tolerate anymore already. I said, no, you're the only one wear the hot pants, then the rest all wear the trouser. 你这样不好吗? I'm not conservative. Of course, you don't dress like so sexy or whatever lah. Then after the class, I told her, but I tried to talk indirectly. I really hurt her, Why, 师父, why you're so conservative? Cannot wear. I just say, I don't naked my body, why cannot? So I say, okay, you try to wear trousers because you see, come here for Dharma talk, not come for whatever. He said, okay. So next Dharma talk, 乖乖的, wear the trousers. Better. You just go to church. Do you see anyhow people wear the short? My friend, in Switzerland? No, I don't tell lie. He's my witness. Because they come from Switzerland, Western country of Switzerland. And this how I don't know Singapore church, I believe they also proper attire, everything. You see the pastor, this is very important, the image, you look professional, you anyhow wear, That's why they say they can't find a pretty girl in Buddhism. That's the reason. I joke with a student, within the 7 day, Monday to Sunday, that's why you work 5 days, Monday to Friday. Then you open the cupboard. Wow. Standard uniform, the girl will plan properly, Monday, Tuesday. They know how to wear, so you don't know headache, don't need to choose right. But come to Saturday, Sunday, all in the mess already. Right? T-shirt, and then grumble, never iron one, And here got one hole, that's just a bag. They come already, anyhow. I was in NUS, the National University of Singapore. They have a Buddhist society, So they invited me to give a serious talk. And one professor, from America one, he's actually not a Buddhist scholar anyway, but more inclined to Buddhism. And he brought me there. The moment I stepped into the classroom, I tell you, before on the way to the classroom, there's a Christian fellowship. They also a Christian fellowship. You look at the second year student, whatever, the girl very short one, dress up very nicely, because the image look more professional, And those volunteer helper also dress up, long sleeve, everything. Excuse me, actually I'm monk. They don't know I'm monk, I think something wrong with them. Excuse me. Then they stop me and say, excuse me. I say, yes, what can I do for you? They say, we welcome you. We are celebrating the Mooncake Festival. You're welcome to join our event. I say, I'm sorry, I'm rushing for the talk. I say, I'm rushing for the talk. They say, moreover, I'm a monk, Buddhist monk. They say, it's okay, monk also can, welcome. I said, no, I'm rushing for the talk. I'm rushing already. Then my next one, also from NUS Buddhist Fellowship. Also the girl, I tell you in comparison, you see the clear contrast. That's why it's a mentality issue. You look at Buddhist one, I think something mentally. Then you ask me, I say no. You ask her, she say, no, I'm from Buddhist society. I say, oh. Then the moment I stand to the classroom, I tell you, beside the professor wearing the long sleeve, whatever, the rest of the student, I tell you, T-shirt is okay, short, everything. Then the T-shirt wear the other way around. Then grumble, never iron. Then anyhow wear. I say, look at it. That's why sometimes I also affect my thought, the mood, But I still do it very professionally. I still deliver my talk, They're happy, I'm happy. Win-win situation, then I go back. That's why this is a mental issue. Yeah. The Christian people, they are more energetic, more optimistic. Buddhism, I don't know, probably they misunderstood the teaching, no self, no energy, no rice, no talk, no car, no nice clothing, everything no killing, no lying, everything no. So you become very pessimistic already, 悲观, and this is the mental issue. Really, you go to the church, they smile at you. Hello, good morning, brother. What can I do for you? They have a cell group, Even after the Bible talk, they are kind of reception. They no lunch, dinner, no serving lunch and dinner in the church, For what I know, They only serve the bread, kind of simple snack or whatever. You want to have a lunch or dinner, you go back. You go outside and eat. So you look at the church, very clean, very tidy, everything, We Buddhists, Buddhism, just for the convenience. I know you're hungry. So if I give you free food, then I give you, it's okay, Practice giving. But the way you eat, now that becomes supermarket, they're so loud, and then quarrel this and that. So a lot of different. Actually, no food serve also one thing good, good for the church, because they don't need to clean up. Easier, And then during the reception, they try to know each other, social interaction. So they know each other, help each other. Like here, 11:15, just a terrorist, all disappear. Within 3 minutes only, all disappear. The moment I look out, all emptiness, empty. Okay, so if nothing has happened, beware, lest you take a mystery. Okay, if something has already happened, mend your ways before it is too late. Another sutra, the sutra in the 42 section, 42章经 state, think of elderly woman as your mother. This is how to subdue, reduce your sexual desire. I think this is work, Just as you come here, the old lady, you treat it as your mother. The younger than you treat it as a sister. Or the brother, you treat it like your father. Younger than you, you treat it like your brother. So that will reduce, subdue your desire. And this is true. But you have to maintain, continue doing that. But not for family. If you are married, cannot. Because this one reduce your sexual desire, also cannot. For us, for single one, can be done. But not for married couple. Okay? But if you do that, sooner or later you divorce, don't blame me. Of course, we do encourage people to divorce in Buddhism. So think of elderly woman as your mother. Think of the woman slightly older than you as your, older sister. Think of a woman younger than you as a younger sister. And think of your girls as your daughters, and so on and so forth. So generate the mind of liberation and extinguish all unwholesome thought. Right? Those negative thoughts, unhealthy thought, if you want. Okay, next, the paragraph. A man could have no better intention toward woman than as described above. Woman can practice this as well as considering men to be like, fathers, brothers, and sons. So in this way, one can eliminate sexual desire. So this is one method. Or you can contemplate in the impurity of the body. This is what they practice in Theravada Buddhism. Okay? So when unskillful thought of sexual desire, one should keep in mind the compassion, wisdom, and the courage of Guanyin Pusa, right? By viewing all old men as your father, as I said earlier, and all old women as your mother, okay? Or even viewing all living beings, as our son and daughter. That's why you see in the church, they always call brother and sister. Right? They call you brother and sister. Why? We are just one big family, brother and sister. So to me, because I'm giving the English one, so I also follow them, brother and sister. If I conduct a Mandarin talk, I'll say, 各位居士. This is how I address you. So different. 我不能 address 你, 各位兄弟姐妹. Why? Martial art. 怕打功夫. I cannot do that. But in the church, I have to follow them. Then, all brother and sister. And as you know, the terms they use in Christianity, salvation or soteriology. I mean, there's terms, And this one you're using, we use it from the Christianity, how they use salvation. 救世 like God save people, you know. Now, so we will treat everyone with respect, and all thoughts of sexuality will vanish. Just like respect people. You cannot say because they are female. And you know in India, they do have forecast system. And the female, they got no status. You know, they treat you so very unsafe, especially female, very unsafe, in India. The police, they don't care one. Right? Even if say they raped by police, and police say nothing, they don't want to arrest the culprit. Even police also rape girl, but to them it's nothing. Cheapskate, the female just a product only, goods only. 没有地位的, no status one. Okay? So very dangerous. Singapore, they say they are safe. Singapore is safer. So it depends what you want. You say strict, wow. If you obey, follow the law, you find very freedom. Quite not. If you ask me, I can take taxi, I can take cab, I take MRT, I can eat char kway teow, 貓山王 durian, what I want. Nobody stop you as long as I got money. Quite not. But I thought must be careful because of YouTube, That one better be careful, because nowadays people use Instagram, Facebook, then nothing is secret, nothing is confidential. Okay, next. This poison of greed. The poison of anger. Some people are very hot-tempered. It's not good to ourselves. If any are much given to anger, let them keep in mind and revert Avakiridava Bodhisattva, and they will be free from their anger. Just like just now that one greed. If you recite the name of Guan Yin菩萨, right? You think about Guan Yin菩萨, the great compassion, wisdom, and then you follow the Guan Yin菩萨spirit, the kind of teaching. So that will reduce your kind of counteract the greed. Then you practice no self, compassion, practice giving, try to share with a lot of people, try to help people, something like that. So you don't have a greed already. Greed is more to your own benefit. If you can sacrifice something whereby it's valid, then for the sake of the people, then there's no such thing as greed, can reduce already. Okay, see the paragraph here. The specific Chinese character used to describe anger in this passage, right, are Chen Hui. You see the bracket in Chinese character? That one is Hanyi Pinyin, Chen Hui. So Chen means a savage, furious expression, and Hui means a feeling of resentment. Okay, 怨恨, resentment. So the harm caused by anger has already been detailed in the chapter of the 7 calamities, but as this passage refers directly to anger, it may be beneficial to provide a wider context of anger as discussed in the Buddhist Sutra. For example, the Sutra of Teaching bequeathed by the Buddha. Alright? Chinese called 佛遗教经. That's actually before Buddha passed away. Alright? He gave the last teaching. This one say, for stealing merit and plundering virtue, nothing surpasses anger. Okay? Nothing surpasses because you still within it. Okay? So the Dhammapada, Dhammapada? 法句经. This is very important, also popular in Theravada Buddhism. And nowadays, this one they printed in the very handy one, the kind of format, a small booklet, even, just a wallet like that. So become very handy. You can just put in the pocket, whatever, when you're traveling, nothing to do. You can just a Bible, Bible, Old New Testament. So you can just take out and read. It's not books. Books you have to carry, right? So bulky. So this is very convenient. So you make it a very simple form, easier to carry, and people can read anytime, anywhere. Quite not. Even in the MRT, public transport. So Dhammapada say, the ability to control one's own anger is like controlling a cleaning carriage. Carriage, 马车, riding horse one. Okay? So those best arranged in the mind, okay, can dispel darkness and receive illumination. Okay? Just like look bright, not dark. Dark give you no hope. Bright, there's a hope. Right? Now, the 100 Parable Sutra, 百喻经, this one also very popular. They use 100 kind of we call it analogy, all right, to imply certain meanings of Buddha teaching. Okay? So this consists of 100 parable. So 100 Parable Sutra relates an interesting story about anger. Okay, about anger. Once a large group of people were talking when they began to complain about certain individuals. Then he may have a bit of integrity, one person said. But he has two great faults. He's quick to anger. This is the first one. And second, he acts rashly. Okay, so these are the two faults. Usually something too impulsive, they react, respond very fast. Usually we say think before we do, but they do before they think. So you start to regret. So do and think, which one comes first? Right? If due to impulsive, do come first, not think come first. If you think carefully before we do, try to reduce our mistake or our karma, something like that. But not easy. Unless you are very calm, they practice the meditation, very good. You are very calm, steady, the kind of things, whatever. Then some people very cautiously do the thing, try not to make the mistake, the kind of thing. Okay, next page, page 81. Now this went on and on with each person laying some sort of a criticism, okay, upon this individual. Okay, upon this individual. So it's just so happened that the person about whom the group of complaining was within earshot, okay, earshot, and had heard the whole thing. Okay. Suddenly he burst into where the group was meeting and shouted, "What are you saying about me?" Some people mistaken, then you just very quick respond. You hear something, very quick respond. Actually, not talking about you. You may misunderstand them, but who knows? Some people have this kind of character. So the shouting person then grabbed, one member of the group. The first person who had began, criticizing him and threw him into the ground, and the rest of the group gasped and protested. So when have I ever been quick to anger? When have I ever been quick to anger? When have I ever acted rashly? Ask yourself, am I not like that at all? So that man was making wild accusation. Okay, I have no other choice. You accuse you, then no other choice. Now, to this 100 parallel sutra tells any other interesting story. Once there was a turtle, another this story, turtle, in the bottom of the dry out pond, trying to find some water to drink, just like in the desert, no water, but I tried to find some water to drink. The two large birds, were flying overhead, and witnessed how thirsty the turtle was and how much he was suffering. And so they decided to help because no water to drink. So the bird swooped down and spoke to the turtle. The turtle, we can carry you to a place, because he can fly the bird. We carry you to the place whereby there's a plenty to drink. Just hold on this stick and with your mouth. And the two of us will hold onto each end of the stick at your beaks. It means you hold the center, then they carry him, away. So then we can lift you into the air, and our wing can carry you to where the water is, or bring you to drink of water. So just be sure to stay completely still while we are carrying on. But, don't say a word. Because you open your mouth, say something, you just fell down. This is a very popular story. So sometimes when they ask you, you need to talk, then you talk. But you keep silent, you better keep silent, don't talk. Some people talk too much. Some people too silent, don't talk. Also got problem, right? Too extreme. That's why, must be middle part. In the West, they are teaching, West education, they encourage students to speak up, They encourage you to ask questions. But we Asian people, the other way around, we try not to talk. Very quiet. When during the lecture, know or do know, also pretend to know. That's the thing you can be done. Right now, I study in the university, some Chinese one, when the professor come, then they just, with the eye open, but the ear closed. Then whatever, but they don't want to ask. Then the professor keep on talking to himself. Oh, one-way ticket, not two-way ticket. Then finish. Something like that. But in the West, different. They encourage you to ask. If you don't ask the professor, that means you show the respect to him, So you must ask, but don't ask too much. Something like that. So that's a different way of education. Okay, so you know the story already, so I skip. Then to next page, 82. Okay, they quote another sutra. in the Miscellaneous Treasure Sutra, the center paragraph, the Buddha said, winning increases the resentment of others, while losing increases one's own sorrow. Do not contend who wins and who loses bring the most happiness. Okay, this is according to the sutra here. Okay, the rest you read by yourself. We move faster a little bit. We move to page 83, the last, the second paragraph. Here they quoted another thing. They say, one morning the general had become infuriated over some small things, wife had done. So he went before his Buddha shrine in his anger state to recite the sacred names of Buddha and Bodhisattva. As he recited, he suddenly realized that how shallow and intolerant he had been. He knew that what he had done in the past was wrong, because to come down to recite the Buddha name slowly, for own self-reflection. And he began to feel a sense of peace and clarity within him. So this is what is known of the Dharma joy, as Dharma joy, as a Dharma joy, the feeling of universal illumination and softness. So attaining such a state is what allows us to turn away from anger. Okay? So sometimes you have to calm down yourself, cool down a little bit, then before you react. But people like you and me, we usually very quick respond, right? No time to react, kind of thing to think. Now, so and it's a benefit of reverting this Avalokiteshvara, Kuan Yin, and keeping him in mind, because he just always think about mindfulness of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, his kind of compassion and wisdom, 悲智, right? So that's a mindfulness, right? Mindfulness. Keep on thinking, so you won't forget. Something like that. Okay? Okay, next we move on to the next one. The poison of ignorance, 无明. Right? Just as I show in the PowerPoint, ignorance means no wisdom. That's why you come here for the talk, is want to gain the Dharma knowledge. And until we practice in our daily life, this is become wisdom. So if you have a knowledge, you still have a mental defilement. It's still suffering because of fame and status. Still have an ego there. Because you know, doesn't mean that you have a wisdom. But after knowing, you must put into practice. And this is how we generate wisdom. From self to no self. Right? From ego to egoless. No ego. From arrogant to humble. More humble. From inconsiderate to more considerate. Right? Not selfish. So this is how they call it wisdom. So the poison of ignorance, if any are much given to ignorance, let them keep in mind, and remember this, the name of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, and they will be free from their ignorance. Right? Especially you talk about the wisdom. Wisdom is to counteract ignorance, just like wisdom of Guan Yin Pusa, Bodhisattva. Okay? So now can you see the paragraph below? The poison of ignorance enshroud, cover wisdom and increases the other two poison. So actually you talk about just now the greed, hatred, ignorance are the most important one. Okay, because the mind mental issue is to control our physical and verbal speech. Right, in Buddhism. So mental issue very, very more important. That's why I say cultivating our mind. Buddhism is cultivating our mind. How to become pure mind. Right? Pure mind. So ignorance is also the root cause of cycle of birth and death. Just like 6 cycle. Buddhism talk about 6 道. Right? So, so ignorance plays the vital role. It has something to do with the mental. That's why it's talk about the 12 links in Buddhism. 12 yin, 12 yin. The first one, what is the first one? Ignorance. Followed by action. Then followed by consciousness. Right? So you just imagine, without the cause, if there's no ignorance, then subsequently you don't have any consequences in terms of suffering. Right? So if you have wisdom to counteract ignorance, that means you wouldn't have performed the kind of bad deed or bad karma. So you don't have a karmic result. Right? Retribution, in terms of retribution. So wisdom, very, very important in Buddhism. Only Buddhism talk about wisdom, prajna, but not other religion. That's the difference. But wisdom, you need to cultivate, practice the Dharma. Not just believe in God. You talk about belief in God. Not just talk about belief in the Buddha. Not enough. Belief is a belief. This is a fundamental one. But we need to practice the Dharma, Buddha teaching. Just like do chanting, 念经啊. A lot of people like to chant, no? There's my outside got one student told me, he said, Venerable, some people chant in Singapore not enough. Oh. They fly to China and donate the money for chanting as well. He said Singaporean. And this, if you chant without knowing the meaning, and it become very superstitious. No wisdom. It's just planting a good seed, but no wisdom, you cannot solve your problems. You cannot say chant because of spiritual power, then to bless you or whatever. Not enough. Okay? Chanting is to know the meaning of the sutra. Not for the sake of chanting, then you chanting. Just because of spiritual power, this is not Buddhism. Okay? You can chant, but you need to know the meaning. Chant without knowing the meaning become meaningless. Your chanting become meaningless. No meaning. No wisdom. But people like to do that. You know why? This solely depends on external help. When you practice the Dharma, it's your own self-cultivation. Who want to do it? They say, I don't know how to do it. Correct or not? I just pay $10. Just like 1,000, no? Last time it's $10. Now due to high inflation, I don't know how much I have to pay. But last time I paid $10. I still here. I didn't go to the heaven. They say, pay $10, go to the heaven. 1,000. Is it so cheap? Like, brother, you attended how long already here? Still here in Singapore. Right or not? If you pay $10, you probably go to heaven. But I don't know how much now they have to pay. 1,000, do you know 1,000? 10块钱eh. Last time $10, very cheap. $10, you know, I definitely, you know, pay $100, no problem. Right or not? Then this one study until get blur, don't know how to practice. From wisdom become no wisdom, ignorant. You know, very difficult. That's why I say Buddha teaching is very profound. Very profound. So as a person's ignorance grows, it leads to the wrong views. Okay? Because without wisdom. So go to the wrong path, wrong direction. Okay? So the karmic effect of holding wrong views is rebirth in the animal realm. You know the 6 cycle? They got hungry ghosts, animal, asura, human, divine beings, you know, that kind of thing. They call 6 cycle in the samsara. And we are still in the samsara. Okay? If we without wisdom, and we keep on performing the bad karma, so we'll never go beyond the 6 cycle in the samsara. There's no way you can do it. So even heaven, talking about heaven, heavenly realm, is still within in the samsara, according to Buddhism. So even talk about God, also considered imperfect. Of course, Buddhism don't focus on God, but there are gods in the heaven. According to Buddhism, there are 28 heavens. 28 heavens, you know. And Jesus, in Christianity, Jesus is quite similar in terms of the characteristic in the realm of form, according to Buddhism. Not the top, the highest heaven, in the somewhere middle or below middle a little bit. Yeah, but considered imperfect. I mean, according to Buddhism, you know. And the Buddha is the enlightened one. It's to go beyond that. So that we call it world transcending Dharma. Right? And that's the challenge here. Not easy to do it. It's not an easy path. So that's why very profound. So the karmic effect holding the wrong views. If we hold the wrong views, perform the bad karma, then it's reborn, right? Reborn in the animal, or probably, you know, go to the animal realm. Right? So you just will, you know, manifest as an animal, and you reborn the animal as an animal, whether dog or cat or whatever. And this is their karma. According to Buddhism, their karma. So it's very difficult for them to cultivate Dharma or to know the Dharma, Buddha teaching. You just imagine, you as a human being, and giving you, deliver the lecture, doesn't mean you know everything, no? You also find it very difficult, right? Because, wow, emptiness, why emptiness, nothingness, empty pocket or whatever. You as a human being, use your human brain, you also can't understand. Then you talk about cat, dog, they can understand? No logic. Although we are the high-class animal, according to Chinese, we are the high-class, we are considered animal, no? But it's a high-class animal, 高级动物. but they are the low-class animal. High class cannot understand. How can you expect the low class to understand? Low class, the brain is not, so very difficult. So it's their karma. So human beings are more important, although we are suffering sometimes, most of the time. But only human beings can cultivate the Dharma, not other beings, according to Buddhism. You just imagine Buddha, he was a prince, He was a prince, human. 他是太子的 prince. In India, he's not a god, to become Buddha. He's not appear as an animal to become Buddha. No. He's a human being. He was a human being. Right? So think carefully. Right? This is what he told us. Okay, next paragraph. So there are two kinds of wrong views. Wrong views will arise from false knowledge. They'll impart the wrong knowledge to you. Wrong information. You can say wrong information. You get the wrong information. So computer cannot work. AI will stop there. And they came out the topic I told you before, right? They gave a Dharma talk. The topic said, can AI become Buddha? AI 可以成佛吗? I know the answer already. That shows that my answer I told you is correct. Because I asked an IT expert. IT expert, computer one, my place, the IT one, very good one. I said, hey, am I right to say that AI is just a machine technology? How can it become Buddha? He said, Sifu, you are right. I strongly support you. This is the right answer. AI cannot become Buddha. Of course, AI can do a lot of things. But having said that, not 100% no. AI probably can do 80% only. The most 90% only. Still got 10-20% AI cannot be done. Brother, cannot. Correct not? They don't enjoy your lunch, 2 bowl of rice. Okay, so AI cannot, because AI is actually, the program was written by human being. Correct not? And you go to see doctor, sometimes cannot everything done by AI, Our health minister say, sometimes you have to see doctor face to face, Sometimes AI cannot one. Cannot say everything one, Just because you can everything, then you say AI can become Buddha. Then I cannot ask you, what's the definition of Buddha? I told you, Buddha must be a human being, not machine can become Buddha, no? Why not? So this one, today the Dharma talk, straight away, within 2 seconds, answer come out already. Okay, so this is the false knowledge. Another wrong views. And wrong views which arise from not understanding the truth. And this truth means emptiness. You don't know what is emptiness. Kong, right? Emptiness means detachment. You don't simply cling down to the external object or ourselves. Emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Right? So last time, even for Sangha, monk and nun, they also don't know last time. That's why Buddhism don't focus on education. Do you need to study? What for I want to study? I told my student monk, the student, I said, that's why this is how Buddhism declining. They say don't need to study. What for? So it's very difficult to recruit the qualified student monk or nun to do the academic study. No. You see, in the academic conference, just at those secondary university, you hardly see the Sangha wearing the robes to attend the conference. Because you must be a PhD holder, professor to attend, scholar. But they didn't up to the kind of level because they didn't study. So you can't find. So this is because they thought education not important. Cultivation, doing to eat, doing to whatever, meditate in the forest, become recluse. They try to isolate from the world. Don't need to study. Then don't need to earn a lot of money, just like lay people. Then every 24 hours I can find food to eat. No problem. So I don't need to work. So all this kind of become very pessimistic, wrong concept. See? That's how a lot of Buddhists become very pessimistic. Not cheerful. You look at them, the face turn very dark, or look very fair, and no brightness, no hope. Just like you practice, you study Buddhism, no hope. No hope, what for you want to study? They always very rush to go to where? Pure Land. Ami Tofo. Even 24 hours, chant Ami Tofo. The one don't need to 24 hours. The one I think 1 day can go. No, less than 1 day. Then you now chant morning, chant afternoon can go already. So focused, Right. Okay. so these wrong views are not understanding, right, the truth. So wrong views stem from a lack of understanding of Buddhist principle. 这是Buddha teaching. Like the principle impermanent. Everything which arises must cease. 有生必有灭. We are born in Singapore. We are born in this world. One day we will leave the world. Everybody have to die. Whether you live until 100 years old, 200 years old, I told you already. Recently, the parade when in China, and President Xi Jinping told, I told you how they communicate each other. They told Putin, Russia president, he said, "Oh, I'm getting old already," because he's 1 year younger than our ex-prime minister Lee Hsien Loong. 他1岁年轻嘛 1 year younger. Then he said, very old. Of course, you think they're very old. I want to die in terms of I want to die already. But I'm the president of this country, you know. So that means you cling down to it already, you know. So then Putin reply him, correct or not? He said, don't need to worry. Since you have this kind of fame and status, come on. You ask any hospital to transplant the organs. Then you can live until 150 years old. I think Putin also too much, you know. I mean, you must make him happy a little bit because he complained to you, 70億起了嘛 correct or not? Like going to die. Then you must praise him. If I Putin, Putin 不要做了. You must praise him, say, you can live until at least 200 years old. You could, 150唔三唔四，你知道？150。So this Putin 咪是淡薄頭殼派，所以是冇我哋做。No, I'm joking. Okay, next page 84. So people who hold wrong views may deny karma. Okay? And it says that good causes do not lead to good effect because they believe in cause and effect. Right? Scientists also believe in cause and effect. And Buddhism is a science also. Buddhism believe in cause and effect. And that bad causes do not lead to a bad effect. Then, you know. So such a person may ask, are there not honest people who are poor and dishonest people who are wealthy? So are there not people who respect their parents and fall into illness, the other way around, and people who disrespect their parents who enjoy hell, the other way around? Right? And karma and cause effect are nonsense because you talk about cause effect. Good cause supposed to have good effect. Is it good cause, bad effect? Then bad cause, then good effect, the other way around. Then you say work hard also like that, never improve one. What should I work hard? What should I study hard? I always fail the exam. 我每次都不及格嘛. I study hard also no use. I work very hard also no promotion. The pay still like that. Who want to work hard? And lazy become more lazy. And people hardworking become lazy. Why? Who want to work hard? So it's not fair. So how did we have fair treatment? Cannot one. Because when you come to the appraiser, like you're in the working environment, appraise you, end of your assessment, okay, call for interview. Then they will assess your performance. If you talk about comparison, there must be something different. That's why we call comparison. You know the word comparison, the meaning of comparison? 比较嘛. So if you compare, definitely there will be the difference. Then how to compare? You compare, say everything the same. Come on. How to be the same? Even our both eye, one big, one small, no? But you don't. Sometimes from our naked eye, we see no difference. Even use a microscope, also no difference. But let me tell you, there's a difference. He said they are twin brother, twin sister, looks alike, looks very similar. But on the surface only, you know. But you really go and look into detail, I think the eye, sometimes you look at the mirror, right? Sometimes I also see the mirror, although I bald head, nothing to see. But for interesting, I just look at my eye. Ayo, but you torse. I didn't do anything, no? I didn't go for eye surgery, no? But you torse. Then how to explain? So, you know, cannot be perfect one. It's just like you want to marry the pretty girl, then probably hot temper, yeah. Then you say, I want to be a nice character one, probably the look, normal. So it depends on what you want. But we Buddhists, we believe one, no? Not pretty, not hot temper, middle path. Look 50, character 50, okay, accept. What to do? If you want to, this one 100%, only one place you can look for that. Pure Land. In this default world, 金刚课 Very difficult because nothing is perfect 嘛，对不对？就是这样。Chinese always say that 玫瑰的花有刺嘞。You know, Chinese, those look very pretty one. Usually, usually not everybody. The character wise are very strong one. 我跟你講，呢度可以跟你搏搏死。I don't forget because a lot of female here. Okay, last paragraph. Now, even if we understand Buddhist principle, if we fail to fully understand their significance and inner working, then our understanding is merely an illusion. It means unreal illusion. For example, a person may cry when learning that a relative has died because he thinks that the death is a setting. Of course, a lot of people think that it's a setting somebody died. So, because he thinks that the death is a setting, why not think about the deceased being reborn in Abhidhamma Pure Lands? 人死为鬼 in Chinese, there's a proverb. Then once die already, then become ghosts. 人死为鬼嘛，做鬼你知道不？ Then this is very negative thought and very pessimistic. Then how can't you think that? You see, in Christianity, for those Christians, you believe in God, you die already, you go to the heaven. So when you think about heaven, wow, you feel that more safe a little bit, 安心一点 you're more calm, look more confident, you don't fear dying. Why? Because you die, you go to heaven, better than in Singapore. Although Singapore got char kway teow, 貓燒和榴蓮, right? Nowadays they sell everything beyond food. So of course this is a very nice way to stay. Now, in Buddhism, you believe when you die, you go to Pure Land. Why not? Why you fear dying? We as a human being, why you fear dying? 为什么我们怕死? Because you don't know where we're supposed to go. Right? You don't know where you go. Where you're supposed to. If you know that where you're heading, the direction is there, your ultimate goal is there already, then you're more confident because you know that I'm going there. It's just like you go to the place, you don't know where, and you're very unfamiliar, so you look very scared. Just like two of them, they know that they come to Buddhist Lodge. Although it's the first time to the classroom, but the moment they talk to me, this man, funny one, can just see, come and sit down and take a look, how he deliver his lecture. But I don't know what he's comment later on. So he must come here and witness himself. Because you know that in Singapore, not many people give the English Dhamma talk in Mahayana Buddhism. For instance, I'm joking. So if you know that where you're heading for, you feel more safer. If you go to the place, just like go to overseas study, you've never been there before, go to England, go to America, scared, travel long distance, then if you know where you go and know the country very well, you look more confident. Same thing. So some people die, you say, don't worry, then I transfer marriage for you, then you go to the heaven, go to the Pure Land. So they look more calm, confident. Right? So if such a person were to think in this way, then will no longer be any need to feel sad already. Of course, they will ask you to smile, to laugh. But that's why you see in Christianity, although they say, but they don't cry one, They sing the holy song. If you go to attend the Christian one, very simple, very one. But we Chinese, especially Taoism, go jialan. King Kwai Dong Chang, cock, because they very noisy. Sometimes talk, then hopefully you go to Pure Land, something like that. Then all kinds of things they perform, got Taoist style, the Buddhist style, then got Christian style, everything. They scared that the dead person don't know where to go. I think they were confused, Heaven, Pure Land, of course, don't talk about hell. These two, then they have to choose, then start to confuse already. Right now. So if you are Christian, of course, very clear cut. I know that when I die, I go to the heaven. The God will lead me out. I go to the heaven. Right now. Then if I'm Buddhist, I go to the Pure Land. Then I will go left, right or left, you choose. Then they confuse. Right now. I tell you, in the normal time, we should chant ourselves. If you ask people to chant for you, according to the sutra, out of 70%, they say, out of 100%, you only get 30% married only, 70% go to the person chant for you one. That's why a lot of people want to go for chanting. They don't know, but actually gain more percentage, 70%, the dead person sa zap. So this shows that when you're alive, before you die, you have to do your homework already. When come to people chant for you, too late already. Right now. But of course, I didn't really say that. I said that those chanting monk or nun, no business, Then everybody chant by yourself. Then of course you chant by yourself, then save money lah. Okay? But it's true, no? Because your family, immediate family, that will be different, no? The monk chant for you, of course. Why you got to marry? Because the sangha chant for you, they need to survive, they need to eat whatever. So you give them angbao or whatever. So sometimes they have to buy this, buy that. And because of that married, not because of chanting, they may become spiritual power and lead you to the Pure Land. They don't have such power, let me tell you. Okay? Including me. So next time don't ask me. No, I'm joking. When I teach a student, usually they hardly ask me one. They understood, put the auto already. They know that we have to do it by ourselves. Okay? Don't trouble me. Unless I know it very well, then I got time, whatever. And sometimes with a special case on, then I go there. Correct or not? So that's why I got time for teaching. Because I need to prepare lesson. If I go to sell ice cream every time, entertainment, then no time to prepare already. Correct or not? Because we play different role. Okay, page 85. Last one. I must have finished it OT a little bit now. Okay, last verse. Asyayamati, Wu-Jing-Yi Pusa, Bodhisattva possesses, right, such awe-inspiring spiritual powers, and many have benefited from them. And this is why living beings should constantly keep it in mind, right? Mindfulness, mindful of the name of the Bodhisattva. Okay, Shakyamuni Buddha concludes the passage on the 3 poisons by once again calling Asyamati Bodhisattva by name and impressing upon him the power of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and the benefits that are possibly by being mindful of him. Okay? So comparatively, the 7 calamities are minor, for the 3 poisons of the mind are far more instinctual. So the awesome spiritual powers of Avalokitesvara have the powers of transform greed into compassion. So in other words, compassion is to counteract greed, right? Anger into courage, ignorance into wisdom. Okay? And then use this quality to liberate all living beings. So in other words, they use a kind of a compassion, courage, and wisdom to counteract 3 poisons. Okay, 3 poisons. Okay, due to time constraint, 11:20, right? So we stop here. Anything want to ask? Now this pure one, because haven't covered, we leave it to next talk. Anything want to ask? Okay, if you know, please follow me. Shall we do the dedication? May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Please hold the palm. 1 palm to the Buddha. Okay, see you all. Enjoy your lunch. Okay, enjoy your lunch.